Need to create a cookie consent banner for your site or funnel, but not sure where to start? This step-by-step tutorial will show you exactly how to set one up using Cookiebot by Usercentrics. You will see for yourself that this cookie consent solution is easy to install and simple to use, even if you're not tech-savvy. And the best part? You can start for free if you have a small website. To create a free cookie consent banner, use the link in the description that will bring you to the Cookiebot CMP page. Cookiebot CMP is a plug-and-play software-as-a-service solution for privacy compliance and consent management. It's quite impressive that it's used by more than 2 million websites and apps, has 7 billion monthly user consents, and more than 600,000 happy customers. And all you need to do on this page is to click Start Free and then follow the steps you will see on the screen. Full transparency, when you start your free trial of Cookiebot CMP, you will get access to all the features this solution offers. However, if after the trial you decide to continue with a free plan, some features won't be available to you anymore, but we will cover that later in the video. First, we need to create an account. You can either use your Google or Microsoft account, or you can use an email address and password. I will use my email address, and then once I enter it, click Continue. On this screen, I need to verify my email address, so I go to my inbox and I should see an email with the confirmation code there. Copy the code from the email, then we go back to the screen and paste it here. And click Continue. Enter a secure password for your account and click Continue. On this page, we need to fill in some information about our company or about our business. While this is optional, I will quickly do it. And then click Next. Again, there are a few more questions that are optional. For the first question, you should mention what you want to achieve with Cookiebot CMP, and for the second, you should mention where you heard about Cookiebot, clearly on YouTube. And then we click Get Started. Now we have our account created and we can start with the setup. Here we need to enter the domain. This is an example of how your domain should look like. And then we select the template, meaning for which regulation you want to achieve data privacy compliance. I will select GDPR for Europe, and then we click Next. The next step in our setup is the configuration of our cookie consent banner. Again, we just follow the steps we see on the screen and select the settings that fit our needs. Everything is extremely straightforward. We start with defining the layout. You can decide if you want to have a dialog or a bar, where it will be located on your page, and if you want to add a style effect. You can switch the position to top or bottom. I will keep it at the bottom, and also add some style effect. Next, we have the design section. First, you select a theme for your cookie consent banner. It can be light, dark, or you can select a custom theme. Let's go with the custom theme, so I can show you how you can adjust the look of the cookie consent banner to match the branding and style of your website. So I select custom here, and then we have a few settings that we can adjust. First of all, we can select different general colors, like the color for the background, for the text, the highlight and the shade. In my opinion, the background, the text and the shade colors are already great, and I only would want to adjust the highlight color. To do that, click on the area here. Here below you can switch between the color formats. I'm using the hex format, and in the input field here I can enter the color code. And then press enter. Then you can also select different colors for the buttons. Let's start with the first button. That's the Accept All button, and that's why I want to make it the most prominent, because I want people to click exactly on this button. That's why we will keep a bright background. The white text works well on this background, and I also will change the color of the border. You can see in the preview that the color of the Allow All button is changed now. And now we can adjust the colors for the other two buttons. Next, we have Allow Selection button. I don't want to have this button as prominent as Allow All button. That's why I will only add the color to the border. And I will do the same for the third button. Now all three buttons have the color that I'm using on my page, but as mentioned before, I want to have the Allow All button as prominent as possible, because that's the button that we want people to click on, and other buttons only have the outline. On top of that, you can also add your logo that will appear on the banner. If you want to do that, tick this checkbox and then upload the file. Last but not least, we have the compliance section here. That's something that you need to pay close attention to. First, we need to select a method. It can be either explicit consent or implied consent. Explicit consent means that the visitors of your site need to accept the cookies, otherwise no data will be recorded. And with the implied consent, the visitors don't have to click the agree button on your cookie consent banner, and if they continue using your website, it will mean that they accept your cookies. In some countries, it's not allowed to use the implied consent. That's why, to be on the safe side, you should select explicit consent or consult with your data protection officer. I will select explicit here. Next, we have the type setting. We can select between multi-level that we have visible right now. It can be accept only, accept or decline, inline multi-level, and even an option to not sell or share. The multi-level type with the options to allow all cookies, allow a selection, or deny all cookies is usually recommended in the EU countries. If you want, you can also show different types of buttons, like only allow and allow selection, or just OK, but I would go with this type. Now we also have some additional settings here. You can already pre-select specific checkboxes. So those would be the categories of the cookies or trackers that the visitors of your site are agreeing to. But again, something like this is not allowed in Europe. Next, you can decide if you want to have the close icon in your banner. That would look like this. But I would just go with the buttons. Last but not least, we have the distribution setting where you can select the territory for visitors who will be asked for the consent. Alright, now we define the look of our cookie consent banner, and it will look like this, and we can move to the next step. In the Content tab, you can first of all select the default language, add other languages, and also adjust the content of your CMP banner. You can adjust the main body text, the text for the buttons, general cookie introduction, also the titles and descriptions for different categories, and the text for privacy triggers. Once you made the necessary changes, you can move to the Privacy tab. In the Privacy tab, we have settings for the privacy trigger. The privacy trigger is that small icon that you can see here, and it enables your users to check or update their consent. You can toggle it off, but it's better to keep it there because in some countries you're obliged to offer your customers an easy way to review and update the info at any time. That's the pop-up that the visitors of your site will see once they click on the icon, and you can use the settings on the left to adjust the look of the icon and this window. I will change the color of the icon and also change the color of the button. For that, I need to select a custom theme and adjust the color of the button. And now this icon and this window will also match the style that I selected for my cookie consent banner. Once you made the necessary changes, we have one last section that we need to address. And that's the declaration section here. The declaration is a list of all cookies and trackers on your site, and you can define how it will be presented on your site. I would keep the default setting, but you can also select a custom one. Once we set everything up, we can click Next. Now it's time to add our cookie consent banner to our website. There are multiple ways how you can do it. If you're using WordPress or Wix, you can use a Cookiebot plugin or app to integrate the cookie consent banner. Alternatively, you can embed a Cookiebot script manually. I know it may sound difficult, but it actually is not. Let me show you. Just copy the code snippet to the clipboard and go to your site. We will need to insert it as the very first script within the head code section of your site. In my case, I will add the code snippet to my funnel in ClickFunnels. I already copied the code snippet. Now I open the settings of my funnel, go to the head code section, and paste the code there. Save the changes, and now we can preview the page and see if our cookie consent banner works as expected. Now we see that the cookie consent banner appears on the page, and it looks exactly the way we set it up. I have my logo here, I have buttons with the colors that I set up for them. The toggles are working exactly how they were set. Now when I make my decision, so I allow all cookies and trackers on this page, the privacy trigger icon appears, and when I click on it, I will be able to review my consent details and also either withdraw or change my consent. The only question left is what are the limitations of the free plan and what is the cost of other plans of Cookiebot by Usercentrics. As mentioned before, when you start your free 14-day trial, you get access to all features so that you can test them. Once the trial is about to end, you will have a few options. If you have a small website, meaning you're using one domain and have up to 50 subpages, you can keep using the free plan after your trial ends. If your website is bigger, you will need to use one of the premium plans that start at $8 per month. How do you know which plan would work for you? Quite simple. If during the trial we go to upgrade now, we will see that Cookiebot CMP already suggests us a fit-in plan based on how many subpages we have. You can preview different plans and see the details here. It's also important to mention that if you go with a free plan, all premium features that were available during the trial will be reverted back to default. This means you won't be able to customize the content and colors of your consent banner anymore. You can use only one language. The user consent will be stored for only up to 1 month instead of 12 months on the premium plans. You also will not have automated scans and analytics, which can be useful and insightful. While the Cookiebot CMP free plan comes with some limitations, I still believe it's one of the best ways to add a cookie consent banner to your site, especially if you're just starting out with a small site and don't want to blow up your budget. Once you grow, you can always upgrade to one of the premium plans, which are also priced more than fair. And that's it. If you followed along, your cookie consent banner should be live and ready to go by now. Whether you're running a small site or scaling up, Cookiebot by Usercentrics makes consent management simple and accessible. And don't forget, you will find a link to a free 14-day trial in the description of this video. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications, and let me know in the comments how your setup went. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.